Hi, I'm Carly Cornell.
And I'm Harvey Cornell, and this is Dragon Phoenix Games.
So today we're going to show you our cooperative adaptation for near and far. This adaptation does not use an automata. It uses a set of cooperative goals that we need to meet together, working against a timer that's going to limit how many turns we can take. And we're racing against that clock to meet the goals. Harvey's going to tell you about the goals.
Okay, so the first thing is having to do with our tents, our camps. In this cooperative game, it's going to be one of our two objectives is to place a camp marker. It doesn't matter whether it's Carly's or mine. They're interchangeable, but camp markers need to be placed on every location that has a trade route marker, such as this one or this one. But we also need to place one on every location that has a gem marker. You don't have to place them on the ones with the coin markers, but you can still place them there. You're going to want to place them there to get the money, so you're still going to be placing some there, but that's not an actual game objective, just the trade route locations and the gem locations. So every one of those has to have a camp marker for you to win the game. In addition, we're each going to be required to complete a certain number of the artifact cards. We're going to draw a certain number of artifact cards at the beginning of the game and put them out in this common area because the artifact cards are shared until they're purchased. So they're kind of like in town. You can only buy them in town, but it's a shared pool. So when you go to town, if you can afford to buy one, you buy it and then it goes to your personal area. But we drew a certain number. In this case, we drew 4 major and 10 minor, and we've already added and bought a few. But the idea is each one of us will have to complete 20 points worth of major artifact cards and 20 points of minor artifact cards in order to meet the win objective. So placing the camp markers and buying a certain number of artifact cards. That's the winning objective. So if you do all that before the timer runs out, we would win the game. Now Carly's going to explain how our timer works.
Okay, so as you may have noticed by now, I'm very concerned about how we lose. How we lose in this game is we have our threat markers. They operate as a clock. We start with the threat marker number 4, and it comes out at the very beginning of the game, and he sits here until one of us defeats it, and then it gets turned upside down to indicate that it's been defeated. At the end of each round, we're going to draw a new threat marker. And if it is the next one in the sequence, you'll see here, we've also drawn the 5 and the 6. If it's the next one in the sequence, the 7, then it would go in place here. We'll shuffle up the deck and restart. So what happens is when we get to the point where we draw the 15th threat card and it comes out, the game ends. By that time we need to have accomplished all the tents or camps and all of the artifact cards. Now you can see we've been playing for a little bit, so I already have 9 points of cards here. Harvey has 4 points of cards, so we're a little into it. We've got a bunch of camps out, so we're making our way through.
Okay, now I wanted to explain the way we're handling movement. And the way we're looking at it is the camps that we have on the board represent like a waypoint where you could stop and get supplies and food. And if there's not a camp marker, that means there's no one there to help replenish your supplies. So if you're skipping a space that doesn't have a camp marker, then you're not able to get supplies and you have to supply it yourself. So what you have to pay, you pay a food to skip an empty space. Unless you have like a pack turtle. If you have a pack turtle, I mean you can skip one, or maybe a card that lets you skip one. But if you're skipping one and you don't have any other means to, you're paying a food to skip that space. Right. Now, are we going to explain how we handle combat with threats? I guess we're going to do that during the play, right? Yeah. Okay, so then now Carly's going to explain a little bit about the town, because there's another thing that happens at the end of the round.
So at the end of each round, our little Ryan marker, who is the blocker, is going to actually move to the next place that is a blockable spot. So the saloon doesn't get blocked, so he wouldn't stop there. And if either of us were in town, he wouldn't stop at the place where we are, but he'll stop at the next available spot that can be blocked. And his moving around creates an additional challenge for us because we never know where he's going to be when we come back to town. And he might, in fact, be where we want to be, and he'll block it.
And see, actually, we don't have any dueling in this game. So if he happens to be a place we need to go, then we can still go, but we have to pay a coin to the bank. And similarly, if I happen to be in a building and Carly wanted to go there, she has to pay a coin to the bank. So we don't use dueling at all. But what we do is you pay one coin for every other character that's in the location you want to go to, unless it's the saloon.
Right.
Okay.
So those are the differences. What we're going to do now is demonstrate a full round for you so that you can see how we play, and we'll go from there.
All right.
Okay. So I am the first player in the round, and I'm out here. I've been adventuring for a little bit, and what I want to do next is I want to head down toward that gem site so I can put out another tent, and you can see there's a threat marker between me and them, so I'm going to have to encounter that threat. It's a 5-point threat.
There are actually 2 active threat markers. Both of them are active, but in that case, you she has to face the weakest of the threats first. So, and she's only going to have to face 1 in order to pass that threat marker.
Right. So I have 3 weapons, swords, right now. So I've got 3 points to fight a 5-point character. I can roll and hope to get 2 or more and defeat it. Or at the beginning of the combat, I can choose to reduce the threat by committing a heart. If I commit a heart up front, it'll be 1 point less threat. In this case, I want to do that because I haven't been rolling very well. So
well, and the difference is, if she didn't commit the heart ahead of time, if she rolled and missed, then she can still add hearts, but she has to pay 3 hearts to get that 1 extra point.
Because I guessed wrong or committed insufficiently, it's going to cost me more. So,
but another consideration is whenever you fight a threat and lose, you're going to lose a reputation point.
Yeah.
The same thing if you do a quest.
Right.
If you try a quest and you fail the quest, you're going to lose a reputation point. But now when you fight a threat, not only would you lose a reputation point, but every point that you fail to make the required total, you're going to lose an item. I mean, you could lose
a coin, a food,
a faction token, or a pack animal.
Gems.
So you can lose, it's your choice what you lose, but every point you miss the roll by, if you can't make it up with paying 3 hearts for each point, you would lose not only a reputation, but that many points worth of items.
Okay.
So it's important not to fail.
So I have 4 points here, so it's automatic. Whatever I roll, I'm gonna go ahead and defeat him. So now this one is out of the picture, and this one slides down. So we're that much further along here, and I can pass the threat and go to my gem site. And I'm gonna go ahead and put out a tent, a camp, and that cost me 3 hearts. And then I get
gems.
Yeah, and I got 1 here too. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4 points of insight, and
Total of 5 gems.
yeah. So that's my turn. Your turn.
And just another clarification, that now you see there's only 1 active threat still. If one of us were to attack that one, then you may think that, oh, well, we're going to be able to move freely around the map because there's no threats. But no, the rule is, if you defeat the last active threat, you have to go through here and find the next threat and put it out there, so you never have a time when there's not an active threat. So you still always have some hindrance to moving around. Okay, so now it's my turn. I'm out here and I'm wanting to go back to town, so I need 1, 2, 3 spaces. I have enough movement for that. I have a move of 4. And I do have a pack turtle, so I can skip this space and not have to pay anything. Oh, and I'm also going to pass over a treasure chest. So I'm going to go all the way back to town, pass over a treasure chest. Let's see what we got. When you build a camp, pay 1 food to gain 1 coin or 1 gem. Which is not bad, but it's not as good as the one I have, which lets me ignore a threat once per turn. So I'm just going to discard this and keep the one I have. And so now I'm back in town. And so I think I'll go to the saloon and recruit me someone with a gold faction.
You've already got a gold one. Are you crazy?
I'm not crazy. My mother had me tested.
Yeah, right.
No, the reason I want to do that is because if you look, I have 2 gold faction tokens and a gold adventurer, so that would give me a chief card.
Perfect.
So if I do that,
well,
let's
not only
see.
that, with that many tokens, any
Yeah,
one of
it's
these
actually,
guys is going to be free.
This one costs 2 and this one's 3, but I get 3-point discount, so I could get either one. I think I like this one because it's got inside.
Yeah.
It's got everything except a sword. So let's just take this one.
Yep. That's
So
a good choice.
now I'm going to get the chief card.
Okay.
Now, in our version of the game, when you earn a chief card, what you get is you get 1 extra camp marker. So I'll take the extra camp marker and put it down here. Now, if you'll see, Carly's already earned the red chief marker, so she has an extra camp marker.
Yeah.
And because there's only a few extra camp markers than is necessary to meet all the objectives, and you do need to put some out on the coin site so that you can get money, it's nice to get the extra camp markers so that you can get a few extra things and it's not quite as tight at the end of the game.
Okay. So
And
find somebody good.
So that was good that I got that. And here's
And blue guy.
a blue adventurer.
That's cool.
And
3 hearts and an insight. That's nice.
So this is one way to get extra camp markers, is by getting the chief cards. There are actually some of the other cards in here that will give you extra camp markers. You'd have to look at the rules to see how we've incorporated that, but there is another way to get a few. So you can get a few extra camp markers, and sometimes you really need to.
Them.
Yeah, you usually need to, or it's hard to get enough resources during the game.
Exactly.
Okay, so that's
now
the
it's
end
Ryan's
of my turn.
And he's gonna skip
He take her to the saloon, so he goes to the stables.
And we will draw a threat marker. And wouldn't you know, it's the 7. That's the next one that comes out. So now I'm going to shuffle up all of these that we had already pulled and reset this. Oops. Goof that up and then set that. So our threats are reset. And now we've got 2 active ones again, which means you can't pass over it with only 1 shield. So
fortunately, I have 2, so I'm still
Yeah,
good
fine
to pass
for you.
over 1 threat marker. I
And
can't
I've still
pass
got
over
lots
2
of
threat
swords.
markers, but I can pass over 1. Now, like I say, if a third one of these guys were to be pulled out and be active at the same time, my 2 shields would not get me past a threat marker anymore.
Right.
So
So that's how we play this. We invite you to visit us at www.dragonphoenix.com. I'm going to try to spell it right this time. And we'll have our rule set there. If you'll send us your email address, we'll open up the page that lets you download rule sets. We have this rule set. We also have Catan, Carcassonne, and Karuba. We seem to have specialized in K sounds up until now. So those things are available. We're happy to have you play them. Let us know how you like them. And thanks for joining us.
yeah, I hope you enjoy this cooperative adaptation. We've had a lot of fun with it ourselves.
We
so
have.
thank you for joining us.
All right. Bye-bye.